Hey everybody, this is TJR. If this is your first time here, welcome to the channel. If not, welcome back. And I'm kind of speechless. I'm kind of flabbergasted by this news. Superfan texted me a link, and my first thought was, is this someone's idea of a practical joke? But April Fool's is still a little ways off. I'm going to first just read from the Associated Press release on this here, because I think it has probably the most complete version of the story of all the ones I've read. And then I'll add a little extra commentary and give you my thoughts on it here. So here we go. The Beatles are getting the big screen biopic treatment in not just one film, but a Fab Four of movies. They will give each band member their own spotlight, all of which are to be directed by Sam Mendes. For the first time, the Beatles, long among the stingiest rights grantors, are giving full life and music rights to a movie project. Sony Pictures announced Monday a deal that may dwarf all music biopics that have come before it, with the stories of Paul McCartney, John Lennon, George Harrison, and Ringo Starr spread out over a quartet of films. The films conceived by Mendes are expected to roll out theatrically in an innovative fashion. Put a pin in that because we'll come back to it. With the movies potentially coexisting or intersecting in theaters. Precise release plans will be announced at a later date. Sony is targeting 2027 for their release. McCartney, Starr, and the families of John Lennon and George Harrison have all signed off on the project. I'm honored to be telling the story of the greatest rock band of all time and excited to challenge the notion of what constitutes a trip to the movies, Mendes said in a statement. Each film will be from the perspective of a Beatle. We intend this to be a uniquely thrilling and epic cinematic experience. 4 films told from 4 different perspectives which tell a single story about the most celebrated band of all time, said producer Pippa Harris. To have the Beatles and Apple Corps blessings to do this is an immense privilege. So, when it comes to music biopics, I have mixed feelings, especially when it comes to music biopics. I feel that too often, a lot of them just center more on the salacious, non-musical aspects of the artist's career versus focusing on the actual music. This is why I prefer documentaries over them. On the other hand, though, I do recognize, and I have seen, how biopics bring more awareness and appreciation for the uninitiated about an artist's career and their music. Someone who only has a casual awareness about, say, Ray Charles, for instance, can go see the movie Ray and walk out of it with more of an appreciation for who he was and where he was coming from musically. And after they walk out of the theater, this can spark a desire in the viewer to go listen to and experience their music in a way that wasn't there prior to seeing the film. With all this said, of course, biopics and historical dramas are just prone to certain levels of historical inaccuracy. This is because they are going to be taking liberties in order to create drama, and because quite often the filmmaker has to condense a lot of history down to a movie-length runtime. Amadeus, as an example, is a film about Mozart that definitely has a number of historical inaccuracies, but I still love it as a film about how jealousy can destroy a person. But I have to admit that after reading this press release, this really does feel like something different. Of course, this press release raises a lot of questions, and I'm sure it is meant to. It is meant to get the internet buzzing about it and keep us all talking about it as they slowly leak out information and build up buzz leading to the first teaser, then the first trailer, until these films finally release. And of course, I'm sure you have lots of questions. I do too. One of my first is, how are they going to release them? Will they release all 4 simultaneously? I honestly don't think that's a good idea, and I have a feeling they won't do that. for obvious reasons. More than likely, I would think it would make more sense to put some space between them, a couple months out maybe, or at least a month out. Also, a lot of the wording in this text has me wondering, what will the timeline be? Will all 4 films cover the exact same timeline, but just from a different perspective? That could be interesting. Or will each film look at a different period in the band's career, and just again from a different perspective? Either way, it all feels very epic. I mean, this really does feel like something unique and different if done right. Of course, I should also point out that unlike a lot of music artists, we have gotten a great documentary retrospective on the Beatles in the anthology series. So perhaps, a biopic coming from a very unique artistic perspective could be very interesting and very enjoyable. Anyways, those are my thoughts. Let me know yours in the comments. We've got at least 3 years before we see these, and I'm sure there's going to be a lot of talk between now and then. Let the wailing and gnashing of teeth begin. As always, if you like these videos, be sure to hit like, hit subscribe, and hit the bell notification icon so you never miss a video. A big shout out and thank you to my Patreon supporters. Patreon supporters do receive exclusive weekly videos not available on this channel. Thanks so much for stopping by, and I'll see you all in the next video. Take care. Bye-bye.